So today I want to talk really quickly about the concept that Rome wasn't built in a day, aka slow growth is still growth, aka don't get mad at yourself if you're not seeing the growth that you want on your artistic projects. Hi, my name is Steph. I'm from Get to the Roots Extras here on the internet podcast landscape. I also have a radio show on Radio St. Pete, Get to the Roots, where I sometimes interview people, but mostly focus on playing local music on Radio St. Pete. There's a lot of folk musicians in the St. Petersburg area, Tampa Bay area, and then slightly outside of that, up and down the West Coast, on the other coast of Florida and Central Florida. There's a large community of artists that either perform or they're singer-songwriters or they're just very skilled musicians. Also, we are so lucky in this part of Florida, we have a lot of retired professional musicians. And just like this is me segueing into the quick topic of today's podcast because I haven't done a podcast in a while. I've been really busy, and that also is part of the segue. So, how did these famous musicians become famous? Well, of course, they had to practice over and over again, refine their skill, hone their craft, and also be willing to put themselves out there. Now, I am not a musician. I don't have any musical skill whatsoever, though I do songwrite with my buddy Jerome Savoy, aka Crazy Grandpa, and his interviews, I think there's more than one, can be found on this Get to the Roots Extras podcast. So practicing over and over again. I don't know if you guys have run into this, but sometimes you hit a wall when you practice anything. So I do a lot of visual art and I've gotten back into painting this month, which has been really great. I see improvements in my painting overall, and I've added little challenges to myself. I also record and document all of my painting, well, for the most, not all of it, most of my painting for the internet under my art channel, Sparkle Weather, which is on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram at Sparkle Weather Stickies. And I recently opened a brand new Facebook just to post my best performing videos because I'm hoping that Meta will see them and be like, oh, these are great. Here's some money because man, I don't know about you guys, but I'm sick of the AI slop. I was sick of it 5 minutes after it came out. I know I'm not alone there, though at times it is fascinating. It is very hard to deal with. So part of me posting my painting journey online, even though they're quick videos, has been to help combat the AI slop, as like part of the larger goal. But something that's very frustrating is not seeing growth in what I create. Like sometimes like it's a skill problem where I'll have one day where I paint something that looks really good, and then the next day paint for an hour again, and I cannot make anything look good. So there's the audience response. Sometimes I'll paint something that's more abstract and I'm like, I don't like this. I wish it looked more real. We'll try to do the best I can. Parts of it are gonna look abstract. I'm trying to make sure the feelings there, the values, they'll remember to paint with light. And I'll post it online thinking it's just awful. And like this video is just a filler. This piece is just a filler, showing the progress, showing the bumps in the road. And I'll get like a good response from those. And they're not pity responses. People will be like, I genuinely like that, or they're just encouraging. I painted a landscape that I wasn't particularly proud of, though I think my work on the cloud was better than the actual landscape part itself. I had a really big cloud in the reference photo, and I tried to capture that. And I had a comment that told me that I should move to canvas next, move to canvas next. And that was so encouraging and sweet. I mean, I've painted on canvas before, but I've gone kind of backwards and like I just paint in the sketchbook to practice and no longer going to waste canvas on practices. So that was really interesting to see that something I wasn't particularly proud of, except for like part of the cloud in the painting, to see people just absolutely seem to love it online unless they're just full of it and just bots making nice comments. And if there are bots making nice comments, oh, thank goodness the bots are finally making nice comments, because the mean comments that you get online when you post anything is another challenge all on its own. So yeah, so it can be frustrating too because the last 2 days I've painted two things that were very red. I did a red hibiscus flower, which is probably the best thing I've painted to date. I've been thinking a lot about hibiscus lately because they're starting to bloom here in St. Petersburg, Tampa Bay area. But also I sell photos of hibiscus that I've taken over the years on one of my print on demand sites. And I went with a very fine tooth comb sort of thing, I guess like a small eraser, and I edited the photo so it would just be the bloom. So, when I did that, I've actually sold quite a few of those. I'm like, hibiscus are beautiful. People really love hibiscus. I love them too. I don't like to grow them myself because ants love them and they grow like weeds, and I don't like plants that grow like weeds because it's really hard to deal with when you have to cut them back and the branches are so heavy and it's like, man, I could be painting right now, not doing 3 hours of yard work or something else productive. So hibiscus has been a big thing for my online space of actually selling art. So I'm like, I should paint a hibiscus. I'm also want to eventually do a stamp of a hibiscus flower, but I need to understand the shape more of hibiscus. That's part of doing visual art is like understanding the shapes, and that's the biggest hurdle for me. So I post this video. I'm like, this video is like the best thing I painted, and it gets like hardly any views. And I lost a subscriber, though I lose them every once in a while. Like the number goes up and down, up and down. I think those are like fake accounts or people that just, they subscribed by accident, and they see another one of my videos, they're like, "Oh, I didn't wanna watch painting videos on my shorts tab," which is fine, I lose subscribers all the time, I gain them all the time, but it's not very many. I'm sitting at 202 right now after growing about 3 to 7 subscribers every day. Now I'm stuck at 202, which is amazing because every YouTube channel, everything that you post online where you have followers, you start at 0. So getting to 200 is like it's a great step in the right direction. But part of me is like frustrated because I'm like, man, I'm still only reaching like 200 people, and then the best thing I've ever painted so far, in my opinion, is not getting any views. Oh man, I used to get really discouraged. Man, I used to get discouraged. I did a travel channel with my ex, and I poured my heart and soul into that. I went and I joined in like an online class, an editing group to learn how to make my videos better. I learned a ton from that, interacted with people. That's actually how I met Jerome, my songwriting buddy, because we both want to get better at creating and publishing things in this new 21st century, and we want to make money off of our art. And I used to get so discouraged on the other channel if I lost a single subscriber. I remember I sat at like 69 or 70 for days, and I lost some. And then eventually, when I closed that channel and deleted it, I can go back like over 1,000. I was at several hundred, and yeah, that was over 1,000, and it was amazing, and I don't even do that channel anymore, but something has shifted. I've stopped being hard on myself for losing that. I was at 203, and today I'm at 202, and I've also stopped being hard on myself for the hibiscus flower painting video not performing like I thought it would. Maybe it's just too much red. Like, a red hibiscus has both, like, red petals and a red I think it's called a stapes, like, the part of the center of the flower where it has the both the I think it's where the pollen is. Is that the stapes? I don't know. Biology? Ecology? What are those? The little it's like yellow pollen puffs, and then it has some, like, red puffs in the center. It sticks out the center of the flower, which is part of the allure of hibiscus. It's very when you see it in person, you're like, "Oh, these big, big petals and this big, like, little flower part in the middle." So, I mean, it's very red, and I looked a lot at the shadowing and shading and the different tones within, like, reference piece, and so I that part does, like, not stick out, like, it doesn't show very well in the painting. It also doesn't show very well in person either when in a red hibiscus, but I don't know, I just really wanted to do a red one, so and then the next day, so yesterday, I had, like, really rough day, but then I painted a cardinal for my channel. I got to paint for my channel, but also for myself. It's a multifaceted thing. And not only is it art practice, it's art content generation. And if you can do two things at once, why not? And then the third thing that I do after that, I practice those editing skills that I learned from the group that I was in, the mastermind group. Or not masterminds, but the person that ran it was a genius, but especially at editing. But the tip to practice those things every day. And so, I can make the content, try to build the audience, and also try to get better at what I like to do best, which is making visual art. It makes me so happy. Even though I'm not the best at it, it makes me so happy to do it. Making the travel channel didn't make me happy. It just stressed me out. But this, I'm like, okay. So I paint a cardinal, and that's another red thing. And it's not the perfect cardinal. I've learned from painting them that cardinals, although they look red, they're pretty orange too, and there's not enough orange, and his tail feathers are not at the exact correct angle, and I didn't really finish the feet. So I did give him a branch to stand on. And he is a vibrant male cardinal, and the same thing again today. I look at those videos numbers and they're like worse than the red hibiscus. So I'm not going to paint anything red for a while. It could just be something as simple as painting with red is not good for viewers on YouTube for whatever reason, even though the logo of YouTube is red. It could be the fact that when you get a little better at something, you lose some supporters that no longer feel like they're rooting for an underdog. Though, objectively, these are like two of the best things I've ever painted. And I'm like proud of my skill getting better right now, though I'm sure I'll paint today and it'll be like god awful. And yeah, it just, it kind of like hurts me, like, like just to be like, oh man, I'm like discouraged now. And and I hate that. That I used to be a lot more hurt. I used to freak out. But you can't freak out. You know why? Because I started this video. See, I'm thinking about the videos I make. I started this podcast today talking about Rome wasn't built in a day. And I didn't stick with the travel channel because I didn't like it. But I feel like even though I'm like, where am I at right now? Like almost 450 video shorts in. I've only recently focused niched down, as they say, or niched down to painting because that has been successful and I like it the best. Like, and also viewers like it the best. It's only been like just over a month. Although I have posted, like, I think I did one drawing one. I have no longer posting the digital art shorts because those weren't getting good traffic. And also, now that I post the painting ones, I see why. Because the digital ones, they look more like AI, they look less real. Like when you do a painting video, even if it's a sped up time lapse, just to show the whole thing from start to finish in a really efficient amount of time, like painting, it just feels more real. And it just think that makes viewers happier. So I've made a lot of changes. And so when I step back, I'm like, oh, I've really been at this channel for like a month and a half, even though it's been like almost 2 years. And then I look at it, I'm like, well, I've only done it like almost 2 years while other people had never stopped learning art. Like I loved art in middle and high school, and I didn't even get into art class in high school, which really made me sad, but it's not like I was as good as my classmates, but I still drew on my spare time. And what if I had continued that instead of just for the last 2 years or the last month and a half just doing painting? What if before that, way back when I was like a minor, I just kept progressing? I mean, who knows what I could have built by now? Because Rome or St. Petersburg or the home that you live on, nothing is built in a day. And if it is built in a day, it's really, really small and it doesn't have a lot of followers. Nabbit? No, but seriously. So I just want to encourage anyone listening out there to remember that these things, these timelines, they are relative. And even though some people might blow up very quickly because they tap into something in the zeitgeist or they fill a hole in content somewhere, it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with what you're doing. And also I encourage you to be efficient. Like I I'm so impressed by my songwriting buddy Jerome, aka Crazy Grandpa, his voice. He's got so much skill and vocal talent, like God given vocal talent, and then heaps and heaps of skill on top of that. He can compose, he can play many, many instruments. Talk about him all the time because he's great, and I don't think he knows he's great. If I were him and my thing was singing, I would be posting songs. Even if they're not perfect, I would be like posting myself singing online all the time. And he doesn't do that. He doesn't have time to do that. We have like kind of a clash there, which is fine. But I do feel like if he were to post himself singing more, he could do what I'm doing, build that audience like from the ground up, reach people that enjoy what he does, and joyously get the success that someone with his type of skill deserves because he's worked for years and years and years on this. Like he didn't graduate high school the most perfect composer and singer, and but he's gone to so much done so much scholastic work after that in the focus of music that he truly is an expert. And it's so sad that he's not in the recording world as a mainstream musician. And then I think about the other people, that I play on my radio show, Radio St. Pete. Like it's a lot of folk music. So some of the voices are rougher, some of the stuff is less refined. From a fundamental music standpoint, some of the songs that I think are the best are the least listened to, and the artists are least known. But some of these silly songs that are maybe more simple or don't have the basics or are not as polished become very popular. And that's because they have been distributed over and over and played more and shown more. And just those artists were able to put themselves out there more. It doesn't mean the artists are bad people because they're not as good. They're just like I am. They're on their journey of getting better and they're doing it the efficient way. So I guess I want to say do things the efficient way. Make your content. Don't beat yourself up for losing followers like I used to. Make sure it's something you enjoy, but also don't be afraid to connect with your audience by posting your process. I mean, this podcast right here is not going to be good for another 15 years. And one day when it is good, it will be wonderful. But not if I keep forgetting to upload because I'm busy doing everything else. And not if I keep forgetting to finish the scripts of the fancy ones that I had planned in the future. So anyway, I'm sending you a lot of creation love today, a lot of encouragement. And Jerome, if you hear this, man, I've told you this in Zoom when we meet. Bro, you have the best voice. Just post yourself singing all the time. Every day, a little bit of a song. It doesn't have to be a full song, and your audience will grow. And then when you release our music video, it will have an audience already to land on. And you don't need to have any self-doubt because you are the best singer I've ever heard, and I can't believe I get to work with you, Jerome. So, come on, man. Anyway, thank you for listening, everyone else that is not Jerome, to all of my artists out there that I'm friends with. When I referred to someone with less skill, it was not one of you. It was other people in Radio St. Pete that I am not friends with, that I do not know. I have not said anything. I have not lied about any of your work. I have many artist friends, and it's amazing to me because they are all very skilled and they're all on their journeys and they're doing the right thing too. They're also distributing a lot and posting their stuff. I mean, that's what you have to do in today's landscape. So any of my friends listening, I assure you, I was not speaking about your work. Do not have your feelings hurt because there's people very specifically I'm thinking of when I said someone with less skill getting more attention. None of that is you. All of you guys that are my friends listening, you deserve more attention than you're getting. Trust me. And I laughed nervously. Okay, I'm gonna go do my radio show for the week. I might do another review on it like usual. I gotta get back to my bestie Alexis Balmer Baby Sees You. We're doing a project that I'll talk about later. And I thank you for tuning in today. Please feel encouraged. Please post your work, post your progress. It's so much easier when the spotlight isn't on you, but things you make to post online or things you create. If you're a singer and you don't want to show your face, don't sing and show something else on screen. That could be the simple trick that helps you get over that sort of ledge, that resistance that Stephen Pressfield always talks about in the War of Art. I feel like we have the War of Art and then we also have the War of Posting. Thank you so much. This has been the longest goodbye ever. I hope that you'll join me for my next podcast episode of Get to the Roots Extras.